Jordan Henderson has been ruled out of the 2026 World Cup, and England's tournament dream is unraveling before it even begins. This wasn't just a minor knock. This wasn't a precautionary rest. This wasn't the FA playing it safe. This is serious. Nothing like this has ever been seen 8 days before a World Cup opener. And there's a detail the FA still hasn't confirmed publicly. Sources close to the squad insist Henderson knew his tournament was over in under 2 minutes. And the worst still hasn't come out. Over the next few minutes, you're going to understand exactly what happened and why this turns England's World Cup upside down. When this happens days before a World Cup, it's not just any problem. Jordan Henderson is England's vocal leader, the dressing room anchor. The player Thomas Tuchel reportedly called non-negotiable for stabilizing a young midfield under tournament pressure. Lose him now, and you lose tactical balance, emotional leadership, and the plan Tuchel built his entire squad around. And behind the scenes, it's worse than it looks. It all started during a tactical drill at England's training base in Miami on June 3rd, around 7:15 in the evening under floodlights. Henderson, positioned in defensive midfield alongside Declan Rice, shaped to play a diagonal ball to Bukayo Saka on the right flank. As his foot made contact, his right leg buckled slightly and he froze mid-stride, his face twisting in visible pain. The whistle blew immediately. Kobbie Mainoo, standing 10 yards away, reportedly looked to Rice for instruction, but Rice simply gestured for the medical staff. Henderson bent forward, hands on knees, then straightened and began walking unassisted toward the sideline, waving off the physios initially, but within 2 minutes heading directly to the medical tent with visible discomfort. Thomas Tuchel, arms crossed on the touchline, allegedly turned to his assistant and said something brief before following Henderson off the pitch. The squad continued training in near silence for another 15 minutes. No official word was given that night. But this didn't come out of nowhere. According to reports circulating, Henderson had been managing the same muscle issue since late April, missing 2 Ajax matches before declaring himself fit for England duty. Sources close to the squad insist the FA medical team had flagged concerns during the pre-tournament camp in London, recommending a reduced training load, but Tuchel reportedly overruled them, insisting Henderson's experience was non-negotiable for a tournament opener. What almost nobody noticed was this. A team chef reportedly saw Henderson limping noticeably at breakfast the morning before the injury, raising questions about whether he should have trained at all that day. Some players allegedly felt Henderson was being protected due to his status rather than his physical condition. Privately, Kobbie Mainoo and Elliot Anderson had been told to prepare for increased minutes, but neither expected to be thrown into a World Cup starting role this soon. And hold on, because the most controversial detail I've saved for the end. The dressing room is reportedly split. Declan Rice, who must now wear the armband alone, allegedly expressed private frustration to coaching staff about the lack of a clear succession plan. Kobbie Mainoo, meanwhile, is said to be visibly anxious but determined to prove himself. Jude Bellingham reportedly told teammates he trusts Mainoo's quality but worries about defensive balance. The FA released a terse statement confirming Henderson's withdrawal and wishing him a full recovery. But sources suggest internal disagreement between medical and coaching departments over who bears responsibility. Social media erupted. Fans have been ruthless, with hashtags demanding accountability and accusing Tuchel of mismanaging a squad legend. The English press has framed it as a leadership crisis. On one side, those who believe Tuchel gambled recklessly with Henderson's fitness, prioritizing seniority over squad depth and ignoring medical advice. On the other, Tuchel's defenders claim Henderson's leadership was essential, and that the injury was unpredictable rather than negligent, and the clock is ticking. Thomas Tuchel must submit a final 26-player roster to FIFA by June 6th. If he calls up a direct replacement such as Conor Gallagher or James Ward-Prowse, he admits the initial squad selection was flawed and invites questions about his judgment. But if he promotes Mainoo or Elliot Anderson without reinforcement, He risks exposing an inexperienced midfield against Serbia's physicality on June 11th and jeopardizing England's tournament before it begins. Tactically, Mainu is expected to start alongside Declan Rice, but his inexperience could force Jude Bellingham deeper, limiting England's attacking threat if England struggle in the opener. Tuchel's handling of Henderson will be revisited relentlessly. Here's where the story takes another turn. Strong rumors point to a recorded exchange between Tuchel and the FA medical chief that has not been made public, and some believe it could reveal who truly made the call to rush Henderson back. That detail hasn't surfaced yet. England's World Cup was supposed to begin with experience and control. Now it begins with uncertainty and a 19-year-old midfielder carrying the weight of a nation. And look, this is far from over. This is the information circulating so far. Over the next few hours, new details should trickle out, and they could turn this whole story upside down. So for you, should Thomas Tuchel be held accountable for gambling with Jordan Henderson's fitness? Or was this an unpredictable injury that no manager could have foreseen? Let us know in the comments below. And if you don't want to miss the next major development, subscribe now and turn on notifications, because when this fully breaks, you'll want to be the first to know, not the last.